Football has seen some truly bizarre roles, and yet they changed the history of the game. Here are the strangest playing styles in football, explained simply. A striker who refuses to be a real striker. That's exactly what the false nine is. Instead of staying in the box, he drops into midfield, draws defenders out, and creates free spaces that no one understands at first glance. This role is nothing new. As early as the 1930s, Austria under Sindelar was already experimenting with it. Then Hungary in the 1950s perfected it with Hidegkuti, who spent more time between the lines than inside the box. Defenders hesitated, follow him or hold their position. Either way, the attack gained the advantage. But the concept became world famous in 2009. Pep Guardiola played Lionel Messi as a number 9, without him acting like a number 9. Messi drops deep, collects the ball, and while defenders follow him, the wingers run in behind. A simple mechanism, but brutally effective. The moment the defensive line moved by a single meter, Barcelona struck. The false nine isn't there to play like a classic center forward. He manipulates, he attracts, he destabilizes, and in a game where every inch of space matters, it's often this absence up front that opens the path to goal. For a long time, a goalkeeper had a simple role: stay in the box and stop shots. And then Manuel Neuer arrived, and that definition was no longer enough. The sweeper keeper completely changes a team's structure. Instead of waiting for the action, the goalkeeper anticipates. He plays high, cuts through balls, manages space in behind like an extra defender, and allows his team to defend much higher up the pitch. The 2014 World Cup is when the world truly realized what this role meant. Against Algeria, Neuer spent a large part of the match outside his box, intercepting balls like a libero. Thanks to him, Germany could press higher, compress their block, and suffocate the opponent without fearing balls in behind. This role requires a goalkeeper who can read the game, make quick decisions, and play accurately with his feet. But it also carries a huge risk. One bad rush out, 1 second of hesitation, and it's a goal conceded into an empty net. That's the price to pay for turning a goalkeeper into a central piece of the system. Today, this role has inspired an entire generation. Ederson, Alisson, Onana, and Ter Stegen have all evolved their game to meet the demands of modern football. The goalkeeper is no longer just the last line of defense. He has become the starting point of attacking build-up. In the past, a central defender had a clear mission: defend his zone. The libero challenged that logic. Positioned just behind the defensive line, he had no strict marking assignment. He read the play, covered mistakes, then played out cleanly. Franz Beckenbauer is the player who defined this role. He won the ball, carried it forward, and initiated attacks like an attacking midfielder. Italy then refined the system in the 1970s and 1980s with Gaetano Scirea, a defender capable of neutralizing danger and launching an attack immediately after recovery. This role worked perfectly in a game with less pressing, more space, and less structured attacks. But today, it has almost disappeared. Modern teams defend in compact blocks. A defender stepping out of the line immediately creates imbalance. And with coordinated pressing, a libero carrying the ball forward would be trapped within seconds. When a defender like David Alaba drives the ball into central areas, or when Virgil van Dijk breaks a line with a forward run, you can see the idea of the libero adapted to modern football. The role did not survive in its original form, but its influence remains visible through one simple idea: a defender can be more than just a defender. The target man is the powerful, tall, physical center forward used for one simple idea: winning aerial duels and serving as a reference point. It's not a subtle role, but it is brutally effective. The game plan is direct. A long ball is played, he flicks it on, shields it, or pins the defenders. With players like Peter Crouch, Olivier Giroud, or Andy Carroll, this strategy has turned matches around without necessarily dominating possession. It's a style often criticized because it looks basic, but it answers a very specific need: creating immediate danger even without clean build-up play. Today, we see fewer purely target man profiles. Strikers are expected to contribute to the build-up and press, but some still embody this raw usefulness, being the point of impact in an attack. The regista is the midfielder who organizes everything while staying very deep on the pitch. Andrea Pirlo is the modern reference for this role. He is not a player who runs everywhere. On the contrary, he stays close to the defense, asks for the ball, directs play, and dictates the tempo. His importance isn't in duels, but in the quality of his passing. In the teams he played for, Pirlo was the starting point of every move. It's a role that requires vision, technique, and composure, not physical power. This style can seem strange in modern football built on intensity because the regista appears to move slowly, but his work is measured differently. Every possession flows through him. Every change of tempo comes from him. Today, the role still exists, but it is rarer. Teams press higher, midfielders have to cover more ground. A few players still perform it at a very high level, like Jorginho or Rodri, but with more modern variations. The regista is the player who organizes without running, who controls the game from the shadows of midfield, and who allows his team to exist with the ball. The inverted winger is a wide player positioned on the wrong side, a left footer on the right, a right footer on the left. The idea is simple. Instead of crossing first time, he cuts inside onto his stronger foot. Arjen Robben popularized this role better than anyone. Everyone knew he was going to cut inside onto his left foot, but he did it anyway, and it often ended in a goal. This role became essential because it allows wingers to shoot from danger zones combined with the striker or open space for the fullback overlapping behind them. Cristiano Ronaldo did it on the left, Mohamed Salah did it on the right, and at Bayern, the Ribéry-Robben duo is the perfect example of two wingers constantly playing on the opposite side of their dominant foot. Today, this style is fully part of modern football, even if some teams still prefer more traditional wingers. The false fullback is a player who starts the match in defense but spends a large part of the game in midfield. Originally, a fullback was mainly there to overlap, provide width, and cross, but Pep Guardiola completely changed that logic. At Bayern Munich, he asked Philipp Lahm and David Alaba to move inside during the build-up. Instead of stretching the pitch, they helped control it. They became extra midfielders, creating numerical superiority in the most important area of the field. At Paris, we sometimes see Nuno Mendes push the idea even further, appearing at times like a number 10 or even the team's number 9. This role requires rare tactical intelligence. The player must defend like a fullback, organize like a midfielder, and know exactly when to change zones. The objective is simple: secure build-up play, stop opposition transitions, and maintain control of the ball. This style has since been adopted by several European clubs, proving that it isn't just a Pep experiment. The poacher is a striker specialized in one single thing: scoring. No need to be athletic, no need to be technical, no need to be a complete player. His number one quality is instinct. A loose ball, a poorly aligned defense, an unexpected rebound. He is always in the right place. Filippo Inzaghi is the perfect example. He lived on the edge of offside, sometimes invisible for long stretches, but present exactly at the decisive moment. The numbers say it all. He touched the ball very little, but every touch could turn into a goal. Sir Alex Ferguson even said Inzaghi was born offside because he constantly operated in the zone where defenders hesitate. Other players embodied this role as well, like Chicharito or Miroslav Klose, each in their own way. The poacher does not take part in the build-up, almost never drops deep, and rarely shines in collective play, but he converts the chances that decide matches. In a highly tactical modern game, this role is rarer, but in many systems, a striker who can finish without being involved in the play remains a deadly weapon. The destroyer is the midfielder who is not there to create play, but to stop the opponent from doing so. A role often underestimated, yet essential: breaking up attacks, winning loose balls, closing spaces, and protecting the defense. Claude Makélélé became the absolute reference. He recovered possession, played simple passes, and stabilized the entire team. His impact was so clear that in England, people still talk about the Makélélé role today. Later, N'Golo Kante modernized the position. The same intensity, but with more mobility and an ability to cover huge areas of the pitch. The destroyer is not the one who shines. He touches the ball less, delivers fewer assists, and does not carry the team offensively. But without him, attacking teams are exposed, unbalanced, and vulnerable. This role requires anticipation, game reading, and total defensive discipline. In a game where everything moves fast, a good destroyer allows a team to breathe and sometimes to survive. The Raumdeuter, literally interpreter of space, is a role popularized by Thomas Müller. It's neither a winger, nor an attacking midfielder, nor a second striker, but a bit of all three. His main talent moving exactly where the defense isn't looking. Müller isn't the fastest player, nor the most technical, nor the most elegant, but he reads opposition movement with unique precision. He slips into microspaces, forgotten gaps between the lines, and appears at the perfect moment to score or create a chance. This role relies almost entirely on football intelligence. The Raumdeuter doesn't dribble much, doesn't beat defenders with skill, and doesn't win duels through power. He wins through timing. In modern football, where defenses are highly structured, having a player who can disappear before reappearing inside the box is a weapon that's extremely hard to neutralize. The wide target man is an idea that seems completely illogical. Instead of placing your tall striker centrally, you send him out wide, because fullbacks are often smaller and less powerful than center backs. An aerial duel suddenly becomes far more favorable. Teams like Manchester United or Everton use this as a plan B, with players like Marouane Fellaini, a long ball to the left side, a duel won, a knockdown into the box, and an instant chance. It's not a role built on aesthetics. It's not a system designed to last an entire match either. But when a team can no longer break through centrally, placing a physical presence on the wing creates unexpected imbalances. Crosses become more dangerous, second balls drop everywhere, and even the most disciplined defenses lose their structure. The trequartista is the artist. He operates between the lines just behind the striker in the famous creative zone. Technically superior, exceptional vision, refined touch, but minimal defensive work. Players like Totti, Kaká, or Del Piero embodied this role. They didn't press relentlessly, they didn't always track back, but the moment they received the ball, they could unlock a match with a single action. The problem for the trequartista is modern football. Intense pressing, fast transitions, and defensive demands have made this role much harder to integrate. Many teams can no longer afford to carry a player who defends very little, but the role hasn't completely disappeared. Some players still use the trequartista's freedom of movement and creativity simply within a more disciplined framework. Before the era of modern pressing and zonal marking, European defenses were built around two very strict roles, the stopper and the marker. The stopper was the aggressive defender, the one who stepped out into duels without hesitation. His job, break up the attack before it became dangerous, even if it meant playing right on the edge of a foul. The marker, on the other hand, had a simple but exhausting mission: to follow an attacker everywhere. In the box, in midfield, sometimes even out wide. Wherever the attacker went, the marker stayed glued to him. This system dominated the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, especially in Italian catenaccio. Modern football has made these roles obsolete. The game is too fast, rotations are too frequent, and spaces are too complex to manage with strict man marking. We've just gone through 13 of the strangest and most surprising playing styles in football history. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which role you find the weirdest or which one you'd like to see explained in more detail in a future video. See you very soon for what's next.